Hello, fabulous fourth graders. Welcome to our additional practice homework 5-4. Use partial quotients to divide. On city cleanup day, 48 people volunteered to clean up the city park. The volunteers worked in groups of 3. How many groups cleaned up the city park? So here we have 48 divided by 3. We're gonna just use some partial quotients to divide here, okay? And we're gonna just estimate. How many 3s do you think we can get in 48? Well, let's try 10. 3 times 10 is 30. When I subtract that, I am left with 18. Now I need to think, okay, I used 10. How many 3s can I use to get into 18? Hopefully you're like, okay, well, 6. So I'm gonna put 6 up here. 3 times 6 is 18. When I subtract that, I get none left over. Now I have to take my partial quotients here and add them together to get my full quotient of 16. 16 groups cleaned up the city park. All right, now for numbers 1 through 12, we're gonna use partial quotients to divide. You can use counters or draw pictures to help you, okay? I'll show you how we do the first one. All right, so I have 92 divided by 4. So I need to think, how close can I get to 92 here? Well, 10 is always a good place to start at. So I'm gonna use 10. When I multiply 10 times 4, I get 40, so I'm gonna drop it below. Then I'm going to subtract that. 2 minus 0 is 2. 9 minus 4 is 50. Can I fit another 10 into 52? Yeah, so I'm gonna do another 10. All right, 4 times 10 again would be 40. Then I'm gonna subtract that again. 2 minus 0 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. Now I'm getting even closer. I know that 3 4s can fit into 12. So if I put 3 on top, I need to do 3 times 4, gives me 12. When I subtract, I get no remainder. So the last thing I need to do is take my partial quotients and add them together. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 3 would be 23. Okay? It's always good to start with 10 if you're not sure. All right, let's go to the back. Number 13. For her party, can Nina fill fewer than 10 bags with treats? Between 10 and 20 bags? Between 20 and 30 bags? Or more than 30 bags? Explain. All right, so let's look over here. 3 treats in each bag. Nina has 78 treats in all. Okay, so if she has 78 treats in all, and she's going to put 3 treats in each of those bags, I need to think, can she put about 10, between 10 and 20, between 20 and 30, or 30 or more? Okay, so take your total, okay, and estimate. So if we have 78 that we're putting in 3 bags, let's estimate about how much would she be able to put in each. Number 14. 8 laps of a pool is equal to 1 mile. Victor swam 98 laps last week. How many miles M did Victor swim? Use the bar diagram to write and solve an equation. All right, so we have our total here of 96 laps. We know that 8 laps are in each mile, so I need to figure out how many miles did go in total. So take your 96 laps divided by how many laps are in a mile to find your answer. All right, number 15. Georgina has 84 pictures she wants to organize in a photo album. How many more pages of the album will be used if Georgina puts 4 pictures on each page than if she puts 6 pictures on each page? So we know that she has 84 pictures. And we know she's organizing them in a photo album, but we want to know how many more pages will she use if she puts 4 pictures on each page or if she puts 6. So you're going to need to do 2 separate problems and see how many more pages will she use for 4 pictures. All right, number 16. Ryan has a total of 85 pennies. Will he be able to give away his pennies equally to 4 of his friends? Explain. So he has 85 pennies that he's trying to give away equally to 4 of his friends. Will he have enough to give them away equally? Number 17. Select all the correct combinations of partial quotients that can be used to find 74 divided by 2. So this kind of takes us back to what we did here. Here are our partial quotients for this one, okay? When I add it up, I get my full quotient. So if you look over here, I have 74 divided by 2, okay? What could be a possible partial quotients that can be used? So if I were you, I would solve it for myself. Then once you get your quotient, you can see which one of these add up the same as your quotient. All right, number 18, use the distributive property to find 95 divided by 5, which is the missing number. So when we use this distributive property, remember, that means we break apart the bigger number into smaller numbers that are easy to divide by, okay? So here we see 50 plus something divided by 5. I already see my 5 there, so I need to think 95. What plus 50 will give me 95? Okay. All right, that's all for today.